like you look taller than me.
Am I too close?
No, you're fine. Let's see if I lower this down. There we go. I'm right now. All right. All right. So there's only 5 on right now, but we'll go ahead and get started just because we are here. So before we get started, you guys already know Kevin Carroll. He's been here to teach us about Deal Factory. But before we get into that, I wanted to remind everybody, for those of you who are on Velocity, to get your payments into Kevin before the first of the month. However, because we did not do April, if you already paid for April, then you're already paid for May, which means you do not have to bring anything. The only people who would need to bring in is if you were not in for April and wanted to get in on May, you have till the 1st or till the last day of the month to get with Kevin and get that over to him. You guys already all have his number. You can text, email, bring it over to the office. However, if you were already in for April, you do not have to do anything because your May is already covered since we're taking April off from our marketing. So what we're going to do today is Kevin's going to go over, some of you guys already saw mostly what Deal Factory can do. Some of you guys didn't. And so he's going to first demo what Deal Factory is actually capable of and everything that it can do. And then after that, my big focus with Deal Factory is the follow-up, although it does a bunch of other stuff. So I wanted to help for him to help show us again on exactly how to set up our follow-up sequence. So you guys can set it up for a week, a year, 2 years, whatever it is that you want to do. And then we will answer any questions. So as you have questions, go ahead and type them into the comments. And at the end, we will go over and answer everything for you. So with that, go ahead, Kevin, you can take it away. Welcome.
All right. Well, hey, Scott, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. All right. So I'll jump right in. Kind of to follow up what Scott said. So it's all about, whether it's the intake from the marketing standpoint, but most importantly, where most investors, and I'm no different than everybody else, but where most of us struggle to keep ourselves on task is our follow-up game, right? So usually following up over and over and getting told no more than once cannot be a fun process sometimes. So to automate and systematize as much of the follow-up as possible can go a long way, especially in today's environment. So I'm going to go ahead and share screens and jump right into the demo of Deal Factory here. So, all right, Scott, if you don't mind, let me know. Make sure you can see my screen okay?
I can see your screen.
All right, perfect. All right, so I'll kind of run through high level here real quick about what some of the main capabilities are of Deal Factory. And then, again, I'll focus on the follow-up piece here because, again, I think that's where this system can really benefit the vast majority of all of us here. So to kind of get started, Deal Factory is pretty much an all-in-one platform. So it's everything, basically the backbone of the system is the CRM, so the contact management system. It's got a full task management system for you and the rest of your teams and VAs, et cetera. It's got a full phone system called Profit Dial. Inside the phone system, it's got texting and ringless voicemails, auto response systems. It's real similar to if you're familiar with like a call rail or something like that. It's from a capability standpoint, it's real similar with actually some extra features that they don't even offer. Full websites, landing pages, all the web forms, all that good stuff. And obviously the auto sequences from follow-up here, and I'll dig into all of that. So again, to kind of give you a high-level overview here real quick, most people when they sign up for Deal Factory kind of start on the web tool side of things. So it's got a full domain manager. You can basically go in here and purchase any domains. If you have domains out there on existing websites, no worries there. You can import domains over into Deal Factory. You can purchase new domains right here through Deal Factory as well. One thing I like to point out is when you go to look at a new domain, it's no different than going to like GoDaddy or something like that, but we can say Scott buys all houses all the time. That's a long one, should be available. So it is. And right here, you would just put in your information. How many years do you want to secure the domain for, etc. But what's really cool and a nice service that we throw in is the SSL certificate. What that is basically the security license that verifies up here in your browser, the little lock up here, that it is a secured website, that anybody who submits their information into this site can feel safe, can have the warm and fuzzies that basically their information, their personal information is going to be held securely and safely. That's typically $80 a year. We throw that in free for every domain that's managed here inside the platform. Whether you purchase it at GoDaddy and import it in or buy a new one, that's $80 a year. So just a nice little added feature. All right. So after you get your domain set up, obviously there's full websites. So when you're brand new, you log in, you'll see there's a ton of different templates that are already pre-built for you. So no need to be a web designer, a tech expert. You can look down here and say, okay, I need a seller site, and click build a site. Do it, and this will let you know that your site is being built. I've already got a seller site already created here that I'll show you real fast. All right, so when you sign in here, this is pretty much ready to go out of the box, with the exception of me adding a Deal Factory logo up top here. But sell your home quick, right here, you know, if they're facing foreclosure, if code violations, all those different things that motivated sellers may be looking to achieve, what solution that they're looking for, right? All this content's preloaded. So if you are a foreclosure person, behind on foreclosure, they can click right here. By your contact information, Norfolk, Virginia, it automatically gets merged in here, so it customizes it. Again, all this content is preloaded. They click get your free report. It takes them here. Again, you don't have to go in here and recreate everything. All that content is preloaded right here out of the box. So similar to the seller site, we have templates. So an authority site is kind of a one-stop shop. A site specific to generating cash buyers. If you do lease to own, if you're a landlord, we have a rental site lined up. We recently added this acquire seller site. This is a really short, concise, high converting website. So if you're running pay-per-click ads, Facebook ads, you can drive your sellers to an acquire sellers website, and there's not as much room for them to get lost. It's, you know, put your information in here. We'll get back to you. Had a lot of good feedback from this site. For those of you who are a little bit more tech savvy or own a business outside of real estate, we do have a generic business website as well as a full blank site. So through Deal Factory, you do get 10 websites included with the platform. So again, if you're sourcing outside websites for even other businesses, you can consolidate those all here and lower your overall cost. All right, so let's see, we'll get out of here. Okay, so that was the website templates. Same thing kind of goes with landing pages. You can see we've got a pretty vast template of landing pages right here out of the box as well. Real simple, just like the websites, you can click on this. All that content is preloaded. You can build out unlimited landing pages. So if you want a landing page specific to direct mail marketing, a landing page that you want to run on Facebook ads, you know, any of those different marketing activities, whatever your niche is, we've got landing pages. You can build out one for each one and drive your marketing to that. And again, it's all that content's preloaded, videos, etc., and really easy to customize and change these templates around. All right, just a real quick kind of example here, just to show you what one of these landing pages look like. You know, do you want to sell your home fast? You can go through that way. But this is SEO friendly as well, the websites and the landing pages. So you can click on any of the SEO pages, put your phrases in there. This will turn green, yellow, or red to let you know. For SEO, that is search engine optimization. Basically, if somebody goes to Google, types in, I want to sell my house in Norfolk, how's your website going to pop up on there without paying for everybody that clicks on there, right? This will will track how many people view the web page, how many people submitted their information as being interested, etc. Easy to copy and paste these links and text blast them out, etc. here, but really robust way to make sure that your marketing and your follow-up activities are easy and concise. All right. So I've went through domains, went through the websites, the landing pages, same thing on the web forms here. One thing I'll show you kind of real quick here, just to kind of show you what some of these follow-up games are. So if we are going through a website or going to one of our websites that we created, obviously right here is a web form, right? So name, phone, email. I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but I will show you something that I think is really powerful for real estate investors. So I clicked edit page, and what I want to do is adjust the questionnaire on this box. If I want to change the size of pictures, you just drag and drop. But right now on this web form, you'll see name, email, and phone number. Well, if we want to add an address, you just drag, drop it. We can make this required, press save, and now an address is included. If we wanted to add, for example, a customized question, and an easy one here is how quickly do you want to sell, right? Okay, so and the reason I asked this, so maybe somebody might visit one of your websites or respond to your marketing, and they might need to sell that house in less than 30 days for whatever reason. Some people might say between 2 and 3 months, right? And somebody might say 6 or more months. Well, the point of all this is you're going to have a completely different call to action, a completely different follow-up sequence with somebody who wants to sell or needs to sell within 30 days versus somebody who's kicking the tires today because they might want to sell in 6 months from now. So where Deal Factory gets really powerful is you can run a workflow, and I'll show you what a workflow is here in a little bit. But if somebody clicks less than 30 days, we can say, all right, well, we want to assign this workflow. That might create a task for you to call them back immediately. It's going to maybe send them a text message back with a questionnaire to get more specific questions answered on their property, so on and so forth. If somebody says between 2 and 3 months, well, hey, that's a different follow-up sequence. I don't need to call them back today, but I might want to call them back tomorrow, or maybe I want to send them what my agreement's going to look like so that they're more comfortable with it, etc. If somebody says in 6 months, well, that's a much less urgent call to action today, right? I mean, we still want to talk to that particular lead, but it's going to have a different sense of urgency than somebody who needs help tomorrow versus 6 months down the road from now. So this here will allow you to really customize what that response system looks like, what your notifications and what your call to action is going to be based on what position these sellers are in when they come in. So can really do a lot of things as far as prioritizing your time. Not all leads are created equal, and this really allows you to customize your follow-up activities. All right, so I'll go ahead and close out of here, and we'll jump back over to the platform. All right, let's see here. Okay, so let's see here. The next cool thing, besides the websites and landing pages, is our phone system. So again, we call our phone system Profit Dial. So you get 10 phone numbers included in Deal Factory. And most people's thinking, well, why do I need 10 phone numbers, right? The answer is a lot of times if you're in different markets, you may want a different phone number, for this part of Virginia versus, Western Virginia, for example. The other thing is if you're running a direct mail piece, if you're running bandit signs, if you're doing Facebook ads, all these different marketing strategies, you want to be able to track and find out which strategies successful, where these leads are coming from, and you've got to know what marketing activities are bringing the results. So we highly recommend that you have a minimum of 5 phone numbers so that you're able to effectively manage and track each one of those campaigns individually. To add a new number, really easy. You can add a 1-800 information hotline or a local business line. And I believe you're 757 out there. If we want a local number that includes the word buy in it. All right, so this one here is 757-294-8-BUY. So you can say, okay, I want this number, select it. And now that number is right here in the system. All right, we can name it. Maybe we're going to use this for direct mail Norfolk, right? And we can press save. And now we've got two numbers in here, right? So we've also released call recording. So this has been a really cool feature that we just unrolled about 3 or 4 months ago. So you can click on any one of your phone numbers and say, okay, I want all incoming calls to be recorded. Do I want my outbound calls to be recorded? And depending on what state you're in, you do need to notify that your callers, whether they're inbound or outbound, that call will be recorded. We've got pre-canned messages in here that you can use, or you can type a message out. You can record your own message right here, but super easy. That way, if you're driving down the road, you take a phone call, you don't have to worry about taking notes. If you've got a VA or a partner that's taking phone calls for you, or an answering service, whatever, you can always go back and listen to those calls, use them for training purposes. If there's ever a contract dispute, you'll have records associated with the contact right there, but just a really nice feature to go back and listen to those phone calls. All right. You can build out extensions. So if somebody calls in, press 1 for Scott, press 2 for Kevin, 3 if you want to sell a house, 4 if you want to buy, etc. You can fully build out all those extensions inside. Right here is where you would make any of your recordings. So your voicemail recordings, if you wanted to do like a ringless voicemail blast out to follow up with leads, any of those kind of things, you can make recordings right here. You can upload a file if they already exist, record one by the phone. You go through, name it, again, voicemail blast for sellers in Norfolk, so on and so forth. All that number, put the ID in, press pound when you're done, and that will save that particular recording in here until you decide that you no longer want it, and delete it. All right. Another thing that these are really, really popular these days are text keywords, right? And I've actually got one set up here if anybody wants to try this out. So if you want to text Scott to this number, and what that'd do, and I'll show you what the workflow, the follow-up sequence is behind it, just to give you an example. But if you text Scott to that phone number that I've got highlighted, this one will capture the seller's name, or the person who texts in's name, can automatically send text messages back, create tasks for you and your team, send ringless voicemails. There's all kinds of things to do, but where we see a lot of people using these keywords these days is, for example, if you're running a direct mail campaign, right? Instead of having your call to action for somebody to pick up the phone and call you, a lot of sellers and a lot of people in general just think it's less intimidating these days to text in, right? They're not committing to talking to somebody, and it looks like somebody's texting in right now. So thank you for participating. But what we have seen, and what there's quite a bit of information back, is that people are much more comfortable and less scared to pick up their phone and send a text message in versus trying to call and talk to somebody who they don't know, they don't trust, that who thinks that they're going to try to rip them off or sell them something, etc. Right? So these text keywords can be highly effective and can potentially give you a higher response rate depending on what marketing you're in and who your target audience is, right? So for those of you who did text in, you should receive a text message back, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So again, we call those workflows, and you'll see this is a Scott demo keyword, and the flow, what happens when somebody texts in is the deal keyword. So I'll show you what this deal keyword looks like. So I put this together earlier. So the first thing it's going to do is if somebody texts in and our Deal Factory does not have that contact already saved in the system, it's going to create that person as a new contact, right? So if it's a bandit sign, if it's a direct mail campaign, whatever, when they text in, you're going to have their number. It's going to identify them through tags, right? So you might have 30,000 people in your database, and you're going to need to keep them separate. You're going to need to find out who's, where they came from, basically why are they in your system. So anybody who texts in, I'm going to know that they came in from a Deal Factory demonstration. All right. The next step is I have the system is going to automatically send a text reply back. Thanks for texting in to get an offer on your house. And here's a link to one of the landing pages that I put together. The next step is going to send a notification. This is going to come to me personally. So I'm going to get a text message on my cell phone to let me know that, hey, Scott keyword opt-in received. Somebody texted in. It's going to send me a text notification here. If there's multiple people on your team that would need to be notified that somebody, that a new lead came in, right here. The system can send emails out right here if you desire. The next thing I want to do is, hey, I might get notified, right? Maybe I'm driving down the road and I get a text. Oh, a new seller came in. Well, that's great. Well, by the time I get to where I'm going, I've taken 3 other phone calls. I had to put my firefighter hat on and call back a title company to make sure a deal didn't fall through. So this is also going to create a task in the system. I need to return that call to the seller. A new seller lead texted in. Who do I want to assign this to on my team? What type of task? What the priority is? What the due date is? I can elect and say, after they text in, I want to wait 3 minutes and send them a ringless voicemail back, right? So I can send them a ringless voicemail automatically. There's all kinds of different things that we can do with the system here to make sure that no matter if I'm working a 9 to 5 and somebody calls in and at 10 o'clock in the morning, this system can text them back, can send them a ringless voicemail, can do some of that follow-up activity while we're not available to take those phone calls, right? And then when we are available, well, we can call them back and by all means go through that. But one of the things that we have seen and heard, and Scott, you may have got some similar numbers to this, but we recently participated in an event and they were throwing out some numbers, but sellers who call in and do not get a phone call back within the same hour, the chances of ever talking to that person goes down 10%. So you'll 90% of the time you'll be able to talk to them, but 10% of the people that call in fall off. Once that goes past 4 hours, less than half the time will you actually ever get that seller back on the phone. So it's really, really important that when somebody calls in, texts in, whatever, that we're getting back to them as soon as possible, because if we don't reply back quick enough, they're going to basically go down and find the next person. Whoever's going to basically it's on their schedule, not ours. So making sure that we have a robust follow-up response system in place is absolutely critical when it comes to working with these leads. So as you can see, there's a ton of options here as you're building out these auto sequences and these follow-up activities. You can have emails and stuff like that go through, etc. So those of you who texted in, you'll be getting some stuff coming back here and kind of getting a live demonstration of what that looks like, what the links look like, etc. All right. Similar, and we'll talk more about the workflows here in a little bit. Similar to the workflows is the call flows, right? So I told you earlier, you get 10 phone numbers. If you have a pre-foreclosure number, if you've got a generic business line, maybe a number for your buyers, you're going to have different ways that you want those calls to be handled. So you can, to build out a call flow, you can say, all right, new call flow. What happens when somebody calls in? So again, if somebody calls in and the system doesn't have them saved as a contact record, you can click here. It's going to save them as a contact. All right. Next thing you can do is, all right, hey, I want this forwarded to my cell phone. So if the phone rings, maybe I want this to come to my cell phone right here. All right. When that number is forwarded, you can either have their number show up on your caller ID or the number that they called in, the profit dial number. So if you've got a specific number set up for your direct mail that you're running in Norfolk, well, when somebody calls in, you're going to know that it's a seller lead responding to one of those postcards, right? You can also have this forward to an answering service. You can have this forward to multiple, to different. There's no restrictions on who this gets forwarded to either. and then we have call branching, right? So what this means is if this gets forwarded to your cell phone, what happens next, right? So we can say, okay, if you answered the phone call, what do you want to happen? Maybe you want a task to get created for yourself to go back and listen to the call. Maybe you want to wait 3 minutes after the call is over and send them a text reply back thanking them for their time today, so on and so forth. But more importantly, what happens if you didn't answer the phone? So if this goes to your cell phone, you didn't answer, well, you probably want to have this go to voicemail, right? So you can use an existing recording. You can have a generic canned message. It's up to you. So you didn't answer your cell phone. They got forwarded onto voicemail. Well, did they leave a voicemail? Yes or no? So if they left a voicemail, this is what you want to happen. If they left a voicemail, again, maybe you want to delay 3 minutes and send them a text message back. Sorry, I missed your call. We'll call you back within the hour, so on and so forth. Excuse my typing here. You get the point. So again, it sends them a text message back. You can, some people will sit here and get real fun and say, okay, hey, I want to wait 21 minutes. In 21 minutes, I want a ringless voicemail to get sent back to them. Hey, just wanted to follow up. Sorry I missed your call earlier. I'll shoot you another text message with a link to my landing page to get info on your property. All right. So then you could say, here's a text message and please give me some info on the property. And you could put a link right here to a landing page, right? So again, you could be working a 9-to-5 job. Somebody calls in, they go to voicemail. If they didn't leave a message, the system would shoot them a text message back, drop them a ringless voicemail later so they think that you called them, then send them another text message, a link to a landing page. And it doesn't even need to be that complicated. I'm just showing you kind of what some of the capabilities are. And then maybe you want to create a task for yourself so that you get reminded to follow up with that seller. Did they fill out the property information on the landing page? So on and so forth. Maybe you want a notification, right? So if you're working a 9-to-5, a call comes in, well, you can elect to get a text message sent directly to your cell phone. If there's multiple partners that you're working with, you can add, multiple texts, emails, whatever. So that way on your next break, you can get out, check the system, maybe return a phone call or two, et cetera here. But the moral of the story is you just want to make sure that any calls that are coming in are getting answered and addressed to quickly, and that no leads are falling behind here. All right. One other thing too that I want to point out. So before we forward a phone call, when a call comes in, this is really cool, and we call it smart routing. So what this means is, so when that call comes in, we can say, all right, this caller fits the following criteria. We can say if they're a first-time caller, maybe you don't want it going to your cell phone. Maybe you want to send a first-time caller straight to voicemail, right? But number two, maybe it's a repeat caller. So if it's a repeat caller, this is what I want to happen. If somebody calls in and you've got them tagged as a buyer, right? So if they're already a contact in there and they're one of your cash buyers, your VIP cash buyers, right? Well, you want to take those phone calls every time. You don't want, there's obviously certain priorities, and cash buyers are one of those. So you can say, okay, well, if they're a cash buyer and they have this particular tag, we'll send this one straight to my voice or straight to my cell phone. All the other calls, send them to voicemail and let the auto response system take care of them. But you can get real creative and build out as many of these different routing features and build out what you want to happen based on each scenario. So really, really powerful stuff. Really allows you to become really efficient and systematize a large portion of that intake process when the phone does ring here. So, all right, I'll jump out of the call flows. Let's see here. Same thing you can build out various email templates. So if somebody calls in or texts in, you make an offer, you can build out different templates. So instead of sitting here trying to recreate and type the same email over and over, you can just have that go out and do a blast out to everybody. Same thing with letters. So if you want to, you can go in here and build out letter templates and have print out letters and send those things right here from the system as well. One other thing while we're here, Deal Factory has a direct integration with Facebook. We're pretty excited about this. We just rolled this out a handful of months as well. But any of you who are running Facebook ads, you can sit here, right here, connect your Facebook account right here through Deal Factory. Put together your Facebook lead ad. Anybody who sees that ad on Facebook does not have to leave Facebook. They can fill out their name, their property info, basically reply to the ad that you ran. All of their contact information will automatically get transferred into Deal Factory. You can trigger follow-up sequences, create tasks, no different than if somebody called in, visited one of your websites. It works the same exact way here. So really allows you to become really efficient when running Facebook ads versus trying to manually copy stuff from spreadsheets back and forth, hope that you followed up with them in time, et cetera here. So cool stuff on that front. All right, so I've went through the web tools for the most part. I've went through some of the marketing, and I'll come back to some of the workflow stuff here later. Actually, I'll jump into it now. I'm sorry. So some of the workflows here. So those of you who have been doing this a while, obviously, when leads come in, when properties are submitted, and we're working with these sellers, right? Most of them aren't really ready the first time you talk to them. Most of them aren't ready the second time you talk to them or the third time you talk to them. Typically, it takes 6 to 8 touch points before a seller truly engages. The average time it takes to get a deal under contract on average for our industry can be upwards of 5 to 6 months, and sometimes longer, right? But most investors, they're looking for that deal that's today, right? And we have to. We have to be ready to close those deals that are ready today. But if we nurture the leads that we have and follow up with them consistently and in the right way for a long enough period of time, there's a bunch of deals out there if we just have a good, strong follow-up game. So when we talk to a seller, and those guys, those are the ones that came to the website, right, and said 6 months or 9 months down the road, it's very hard to be efficient and manage that with sticky notes, calendar reminders. There's too much stuff in life that comes up and goes on for us to consistently have a follow-up game without having some sort of systematized automation behind it. So if we're talking to somebody and they say, hey, I'm not ready yet, or no, your offer's too low, whatever, well, we can say, we can call this a nurturing workflow follow-up, right? Whatever you want to do. So we can say, all right, nurturing follow-up. So maybe the first thing that we want to do is, again, we want to tag these people. Maybe they are cold leads right now. We can say, all right, this is my cold lead list. It's a seller lead, whatever. We just want to be able to keep our database updated. So cold lead, seller leads. The next thing we want to do, maybe we'll want to send a text message out. Hi, this is Kevin. Just wanted to follow up on the property I made an offer on, right? Stay in contact should your position change, so on and so forth. And then you can say, okay, well, they're not ready. Sending them a text message every single day is probably not good if they're not going to be ready for 6 months or 8 months or so on and so forth, right? So you can say, okay, I want to delay 13 days, and we'll send it and say between the hours of 9 and 6 p.m. throughout the day, so we're not texting them late at night. And then maybe you want to send them a ringless voicemail. All right. Okay. Hey, this is Kevin. Just trying to get a hold of you real quick. Want to follow up just to make sure that something hasn't changed. I'm still interested in purchasing your property if you'd like to receive an offer. You can wait. Again, maybe we want to wait 16 days this next time and send them an email. what email do you want it to come through? Here's that template, right? So if you have a template, follow-up email number 1, trying to get a hold of you, just want to stay in contact, whatever. So you can build out these follow-up sequences. And I've got a story here. And those of you who met me in Virginia back in January, this is going to sound familiar, but we have another user named Marcy. And what Marcy had done was she was actually at a RIA club meeting and was talking with another investor. This investor said that he had a list of 200 seller leads that he found either driving for dollars, they've visited websites, etc. He followed up with them 1 or 2 times. If they didn't recall back or they said they weren't interested, he just marked them off as, quote, dead leads. So this Marcy lady said, well, here, I'll buy those leads from you for $20. So she paid $20 for a list of 200 leads. What she did was came back and she built out a 52-week, a full year long follow-up sequence. And you're probably, most people are like, holy cow, you got to be kidding me. But this story is awesome. So she had a full-time 9 to 5. She built out this follow-up sequence where literally every 2 weeks she hit him with a text message. 2 weeks later, it was a ringless voicemail. Then another text message and another ringless voicemail. She mixed a couple of personal phone calls where she would create a task for herself to call once every 3 months to pick up the phone and actually call them. But she literally hit them every other week for a full year. Off that original list of 200 people, I think at this point, the running tally is that she's gotten 12 or 13 deals off that list of 52. Back in January, I think the number was at 9, and she's since closed 3 more deals off that list. But the point of the matter is the other investor had given up after 1 or 2 touch points. By systematizing this follow-up game, they call and respond to these messages when they're ready for an offer, when they're ready to sell, right? So she's not wasting a whole bunch of time trying to follow up with 200 of these people individually. The system does the work, and then when they call in, the system recognizes that, hey, this is a saved contact. It stops sending text messages and ringless voicemails and triggers another workflow, right? So when they call in, she wants to make sure that they're serious now. So it sends them a text message back. Hey, I'm glad that you responded. Please give me the details on your property and I'm going to make you an offer. And it sends them to a landing page where she asks, why are they looking to sell, what the property's like, so on and so forth. And that way, by the time she even talks to him on the phone the first time, they've already jumped 2 hurdles. She knows that they are now motivated. They've given information, they've called in, and she's got a real deal on the table and can focus on that portion of her business versus a lot of these follow-up tasks. So really powerful stuff. I'm happy to report she's no longer working her 9 to 5. She is a full-time investor and she's averaging 4 to 5 deals a month right now. And she contributes this to basically putting together workflows and automating as much of her business as she can. And she's a solo user. She doesn't have a team. She's literally doing this on her own right now. So really awesome story. And she's one of the nicest, coolest ladies you've ever met in your life too. So that makes it even better. So, but that's the power of these workflow engines here. All right. One thing I want to point out as well, for those of you who may have a Carrot site or an outside website, you can create the web forms. So the question boxes, the names and emails, phone numbers and address, you can create those web forms inside of Deal Factory right here. You can just build a new web form out, and then you can actually copy. We give you the code right here on any one of the web forms. You'll see this get code. You can copy and paste this script right here onto your outside website. So if you have a website in existence today outside of Deal Factory, you can copy this. It will put this web form on your existing page, and that way anybody who fills it out, their contact info will get put into Deal Factory. It can trigger all the automated responses and do everything else the same as if you had built that website out here. So those of you who do have websites out there, maybe you've paid a lot of money or put a lot of work into it, you don't have to get rid of those right away, and you can put this out there to kind of start systematizing your business. I've been to point that out earlier. All right. So earlier, I was telling you that the contact management system is part of the the backbone of Deal Factory. So you'll see here this number 4. These are people texting in Scott. So I'll see here we've got a couple of text ins right here. I can click right here on the number. That person got a text message back here. I can say thank you again for texting. Have a great day, and text back right here from the platform. All of this is mobile friendly as well. But you can see right here, this phone number that texted in, 7989, it's saved right here. If I wanted to call them back, I can click here. This here is my number. So as soon as I press call now, my phone number here is going to ring, and then it will call you back when you text it in. I can pick what phone number I want to show up on the caller ID. Do I want that call recorded or not? And right here, it will manage and track all of that marketing activity. I can click. So here's the person that texted in earlier, Deal Factory demo. They texted in Scott. So text message received. It created a task for me to call you back. You got a text message back. Thanks for texting in. I can click on view details. The text was processed, it was sent, and it was delivered. So you can always look and make sure that they got the message. And then this did trigger the workflow that I was telling you earlier. And then I again texted back, thank you again, have a good day, so on and so forth. So as you can see right here, the system automatically tagged you as a Deal Factory demo. I know exactly what you're doing. It created a task. I'm supposed to call you back. Don't worry, I'm not going to call you. I won't bother you. This is just for an example. And then it opts in your phone number, right? So you text it into me. That legally allows me to send you text and ringless voicemails and call you back. So I don't have to worry about getting in trouble for calling a do not call list or anything like that. But really, really easy here. Nice, concise way to keep your contact system lined up. It will save emails, all that good stuff. So, all right. So as you can see, some other people has texted in and submitted information. You can see there's a little house right here. So that means somebody submitted a property. I can click on the property. Here's the address. I can look at this in the property pipeline. This will take you right to a lead sheet. So I know John, here's his numbers, here's addresses. So again, I can ask all these questions are right here. You can customize this lead sheet too. So when you're talking to a seller, when you're going through all of that, you can customize and ask whatever questions. If set your team members up, you can customize all this. This will let you know. This keeps track of who's selling the house. If you've got a buyer lined up, you can sit here and basically know everybody involved with each transaction. Here's a repair list. You can go through here and say exterior, interior, utilities and plumbing, and kind of come up with what type of repair list. So if you're fixing flipping, if you're wanting to run an analyzer here to let your cash buyer know what it's in, what comps. Again, this pull up the public records for sold properties in that particular area. So this is New York. Let's see here, and this looks like somebody gave me a funny address here. This isn't a residential house. This is a business address, so comps are tough. But this to go through, you can analyze deals based on, here's your acquisition. Are you going to fix and flip, lease option, rent it, wholesale it? How long are you going to hang on to it? How are you going to finance it? What's your expenses look like? Your income, your exit, how long are you going to hang on to it? What's the value? And this will kick out different reports, cash flow reports, executive summaries, and so on. So kind of let you know what to do with each property. Any tasks associated, uploads. And this is where it gets kind of cool, is the marketing side of things. So you've got a property under contract, whether you're looking to rent the thing out, wholesale it off, lease option, whatever the case is. So right here, you can market this out and put it on other Deal Factory members' websites. You can create basically make this a property set up on one of your existing websites in the system, you can blast this out to third-party sites. So basically syndicate this out. So when you click it here, this thing get put out there on RentBit and HotPads, and there's about 40 or 50 outside websites, third-party websites. It does take a day or two for them to pick up the syndication, but just with a push of a button, we'll basically put that out there. You can fill out property info, description, add property features and school info, so on and so forth, add videos, upload pictures right here, and you can create a property website for each one of your properties. You can publish it right here. We've got free domains that you can use, so you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of different domains. Copy links. You can email blast out, text blast out to your buyers list, etc. It's to track how many people visit the website, how many leads are captured. Again, we're all about automation at Deal Factory. So if somebody says that they're interested in making an offer on the house, want to look at it, etc., what actions do you want to happen next? Do you want the pictures included, videos, so on and so forth? Even tracking pixels. So if you're not familiar with tracking pixels, for those of you who shop on Amazon, if you look at a pair of shoes on Amazon and then go to Facebook an hour later, lo and behold, that same pair of shoes that you didn't buy yet are sitting right there as an ad. That's what tracking pixels are. So these properties can follow your people around for a couple of days. It's a little bit creepy, but that's the world we live in. Print flyers, email blast it out, so on and so forth. So really super duper easy way to get your properties listed. I'm going to turn these things off so people don't think this house is for sale. Really nice way to do it. Let's see here. Property finders, real quick. We do have a bird dog engine or property finder. So if you wanted to sign up a new property finder, you put their name, phone, email in there, their address. This will automatically send your new bird dog an email encouraging them to sign up. They'll receive a link to a portal, and then they can sit there and submit properties down here. You'll see, did you accept it, reject it, who submitted it, when was it created, here's the property address, and so on and so forth. But right here, you can basically have people submitting properties to automatically get put into your system, and you can accept them, reject them, decide to follow up on them, yes or no, if it's something you're interested in. All right. So I kind of ran through this very quickly today. Let me give you a better overview of the properties as well. So you'll see Thrasher Landing. Somebody had put this in there. Chris, I know the Ackermans. Here's a property that they were working on. Here's the lead sheet. Again, here's the marketing part of things, and I'll show you what the website looks like. I don't think that we put pictures in here by any stretch, but we've got different templates. This is on the beach, so we'll leave the palm trees there. But as you can see, I don't have any photos or anything like that, but this will show you basically what the property looks like. All right. 6 people visited that website. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off because they're maybe getting phone calls or people driving by staring at them. But again, it's a really easy way to market your properties here on the backside. But at the end of the day, this is all about systematizing the intake process, whether it's somebody calling in, texting in to one of your marketing activities. Are they coming through one of your websites? Are you running an ad on Facebook or something like that? If the system will capture all their contact information based on what marketing you did, you build up the follow-up sequences to make sure that no lead goes untouched. Depending on who your list is and what motivation factors they have, you set up specific follow-up sequences. When we do make an offer and somebody says no, well, hey, I'm going to put them into a 10-day follow-up sequence, right? So if somebody told you no, that they're not interested in your offer today, I personally wouldn't just take that no with a grain of salt. I'm going to make sure that I follow up with them. So I'm going to have the system probably send them a text message tomorrow, maybe another one the day after, a ringless voicemail. I'm going to hit everybody pretty hard for at least 7 to 10 days to make sure that they don't change their mind that they want to sell that house to me. If they still say no after 10 days, I would build out another follow-up sequence and say, okay, well, here's a, for the next 2 months, I'm going to follow up, once a week, so on and so forth. And then after that, if they quit replying, well, I'm going to put them on my 52-week follow-up. And worst case scenario, I still don't get a deal after a year. But best case scenario is maybe something changed. They're in a different position, so on and so forth. And you never know until they tell you no for the final time, and just let the system do that follow-up activity. Because again, 92% of investors, I shared this when I was in Virginia, when I was live in front of the group there, guys, but over 92% of all investors give up within 4 touch points. But most transactions don't occur until 6 to 8 touch points down the road. So there's a big gap there. Most investors do a pretty good job marketing. They know that they've got to generate leads, whether it's direct mail or bandit signs or, whatever the case is. Everybody understands that part of the business, but very few people have the self-discipline, the resources, the time, or they just don't like doing the follow-up period in order to not pass up on some of those deals that are available down the road here. So again, I wanted to kind of go through that. And this will track how many people come through your web pages, how many people opt in that way. Any tasks that are due for you and your team is right here. Again, quick analyzer for your properties, etc. But really robust, all-in-one platform. Everything from your websites, your phone numbers, domain managers, contact management system, and then ultimately that really, really good follow-up sequence to make sure that those leads are getting followed up on. So that's a really high level. I ran through this really, really quick. For those of you who are already users, you probably know that there's a whole lot more capabilities than what I went over today, but I wanted to give, again, a relatively high level here just to kind of show you that, especially for the smaller to medium-sized investors, being able to systemize and automate as much of your business as possible pays off dividends and allows you to really focus on those revenue generating, those custom critical actions that we as investors have to do on a daily basis. So, all right. So I'll go ahead and kind of jump out of that and address some Q&A. Scott, is there anything else that I maybe didn't touch here yet? Anything that you wanted to see in addition before I jump out of here?
No, but I did have a question. I saw at one point you showed a thing that said letters.
Yeah.
Do you have the capability to actually send the letter, or is that just to print it off?
That's just to print it off. That's just to print it off. So
I was hopeful. I said, oh, maybe you can actually mail thank you cards right out of there.
So I'll tell you what, I do have some good news on this. I don't want to promise a timetable quite yet, Scott. But inside of the workflow engine, you're here soon. You're going to see a new tab open up down here. Another thing too that I didn't get into is this webhook. So this is basically an API button. So if you use DocuSign, electronic signatures, stuff like that, you can actually have this automatically send out an electronic signature. They'll sign it back, and you can automate the process like of certain times throughout that. But that's a little bit for the techier people to do. We can help you with that when the time comes. But here soon, Scott, to kind of answer your question, here shortly, we're going to have the ability to send one-off postcards. So, for example, if you're driving down the road and you see a house that's obviously distressed, right? You can put them into a follow-up campaign or even part of your normal marketing activities, right? So if you're doing a postcards direct mail campaign, you can basically set this workflow up and trigger it for 200 people at the same time, right? And you can say, okay, I want to send them a postcard today. Well, you'll have the ability to select a postcard right here. We'll have different templates. Do you want one with a picture of their house? Do you want a letter to go out, etc.? And we'll have a bunch of different options in here. And then you can say 2 weeks later, I want a different postcard or the same postcard, whatever. But you'll be able to send one-off postcards with no minimums on an automated basis here versus trying to come up with a list of 500 or 1,000 at a time. And you'll have that option in here. So you will be able to do the letter templates. and have those kind of get mailed out here in the near future. But it's not going to be 100% customizable, but there will be a bunch of different options that you'll be able to send, Scott.
Awesome. Look forward to it.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
I'm thrilled that we recorded this because I needed help myself. And so now I can literally watch this video, press pause, watch the video, press pause, do a step. So I'm glad that we recorded this. I thank you very much because I still don't have my full thing set up, and I love everything you showed me. It literally stands the hair on my arms up. I'm like, I love it. I'm so excited about getting this whole thing set up.
Well, I appreciate that. And one thing I didn't show too, and I'm actually a little bit embarrassed to say this, Scott, but one of the things that I did not show you is right here. We can say, for example, I want to look at all of my buyers, right? And for this one here, I'm just going to say Deal Factory demo. I want to do a text blast to everybody that I know at Deal Factory. So I can say, okay, well, here's my database. I can select all of them right here and say, you know what? I'm going to do a text blast out. What number do I want this text blast out, right? So maybe this one. And if the system has their first name, it'll say, first name. So Scott, thanks for your time on the demo today. Please call anytime, whatever. But
so that's where we can also do the holiday ones, or we can say, I just wanted to wish you a happy holiday.
Absolutely.
Or thanks.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
Yep. All of that. You can even basically set up birthday stuff in here. You can, so if somebody's got a birthday, you can assign like a contact in here and say, because you can build a workflow out for 3 years, right? And say, all right, on this day, I want a happy birthday message to go out. I'll never miss another one of my wife's birthdays ever, because I'll build out a workflow, and once a year, she's going to get a text message from me automatically that says, happy birthday, sweetheart, I love you. So I will never be in the doghouse again on her birthday, Scott. I also have a text message go to me 3 days before to go buy a gift. So you can use this for a whole bunch of different things. But you can schedule it. You can put links in here. So if those of us that do have 9 to 5s, you can schedule this and say, okay, I want this to go out Friday morning at,
I have a question. I just see where it says schedule optional. When we spoke originally, I don't think you had that yet. It only had, you can do days. You weren't able to put an actual date in, correct?
I probably just did a really poor job of explaining it, Scott. We've had that for a couple of months, at least. Maybe it's been relatively new, but I probably
because originally what I wanted to do was to be able to automate to send Merry Christmas, Happy Valentine's Day, and I think you said you couldn't actually put in a date. You could only do like 30 from now, 2 months from now.
Oh, okay, yeah. So on the blast here, you can. So when you're in the actual workflow itself, because those get triggered at different times, those can't be date specific. But on the blast like this, it can be. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
So you can schedule it. I can go all the way out to December 25th or whatever right here at what time. Press continue. This will show you that there's 32 people on this list. They're all opted in, so I legally am allowed to text them because I have their permission. You can preview that list right here and send that blast out. I won't do it because people's going to be thinking, what on earth? But yeah, really easy to send a blast out right here from the platform. So
the reason I wanted to do this today, and for those of you listening, because this has been since January and I'm still not fully set up, right? So I don't know how far along you guys are. However, it's a schedule, but we're in a quarantine right now. We have nothing but time. So there is no reason we can't sit for a full day, 2 days in our own home as we do it and get completely set up for the next 2-3 years, have it all built out, and we never have to worry about this again. By the time this quarantine's over, all you got to do is input your new lead, or it'll automatically be input, and we never have to do this again. And so that's best utilization of this time, this downtime we have at home, where we can actually get this whole thing set up now. It's why I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, you're absolutely right too. Because I mean, everybody knows that this isn't going to be like this forever. There's still short supply, and right now, people, if you're not getting your follow-up system and preparing your business to take advantage, I mean, this is an opportunity. Right now is an opportunity for us to make sure that we're putting ourselves in a spot to where when things open up, People still going to be distressed. I mean, there's going to be a wave that we're able to ride, and having basically the platform and your systems and processes solidified at this point is going to put you in a spot to ride that wave and not get knocked over by it. Right. So you're absolutely right, Scott, with that message.
Yeah, and I'm a fan, obviously, of always marketing, and I never stop. However, we did decide collectively, although not 100% collectively, to stop for April. And it wasn't because we don't want deals, obviously, in April, but we're bound to our houses. And I'm like, so even if people call, nobody wants to see anybody right now. And so I thought it was conserving the money and just put it out in May or double up for May. I didn't want to throw that money away where nobody wants to set an appointment anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But having that follow-up game. So when you do turn it on, you want to be able to follow up and build this stuff out. So that's usually the biggest issue is time, right? I don't have time to do it. I don't have time to do it. And you've got time now. They can always call into support as well. Submit the support line as well. We'll help walk you through and share that information and go through all of that. So again, use the time wisely and get ready to put yourself in that position for sure.
Absolutely. I have a to-do list that has over 100 things on it. I've been knocking them off. My goal is by the time this quarantine's over, I want it to be at 0. It's been building for years, and I'm getting so done sitting at home.
I like it. I'll go ahead and stop sharing here unless there's anything else you want to see. And if there's any questions, I'll happily hop in there and address those.
Yeah, so and if anyone has any other questions, right now is a great time to put them in, but I will start off with what we do have. So the first one says, Michelle, is the price of sending out mail included in the monthly fee? I think you're thinking of Deal Machine because I don't think they do any mailings. You guys don't do any mailings, correct?
Yeah, it doesn't do the
mailing. Mailings.
If in the future when we do have the direct mail added,
there'd be an add-on fee, of course.
At that time, it'd be hey, it's 63 cents for a postcard or whatever, and then you'll be able to basically buy credits in the system to accommodate that. Yep.
Okay. Next one just says, I'm here.
Hey.
I'm here. Hey, George, how you doing? Patrick, just got here. With the numbers in the system, can they forward calls and text multiple messages to multiple phone lines?
That's a good question. So what we typically do, so it won't forward them at the same exact time. It's funny, I was watching myself freeze on the screen for a second. But so what most people will do is forward it if you don't answer your phone, and you can set the timetables between 5 seconds and 10 seconds of how long. So if it gets forwarded to my cell phone, if I don't answer in 10 seconds, then it can forward to Scott's cell phone. But I will caution you, you don't want to have it forward to 3 or 4 because then that person is going to be sitting there with the phone ringing for a very long time. So usually I would recommend no more than 2 numbers to forward to. In worst case, send a text message. Now you can send the text messages to multiple phone lines. You can build out as many of those as you want from a text standpoint. But as far as the inbound phone calls, I would limit it to 2 if possible.
Okay. Next one. Is this being recorded? Yes, it is being recorded. It will be on Facebook and it will be in our private member site. And we will be using it because I don't know about you guys, but I'm not very tech savvy. So I plan on playing it and then pausing it and doing it. Then press play a little more, pause it and do it. That's the only way I'm going to get it. Didn't that Marcy lady put out a PDF or book of instructions on how she set up her follow-up sequence, and is it still available?
Yes. And I'll tell you what, Scott, I will shoot that over to you. I'll let you disperse that. So anybody who is an active Deal Factory person, we can share that with them. Yes.
Okay. Fantastic.
It even gives you scripts and the actual ringless voicemails that she put together and everything. Yep.
Okay. Just said very powerful. How do you port in a phone number? I think I actually already know the answer to this, but I'll let you answer.
Yeah. So good question. So if you've got Google Voice or frankly any number that you want to port in. So again, you get 10 phone numbers included. There is a letter of authorization that we have to have. So there's 2 things. One is that letter of authorization that you are granting us permission to contact your current carrier and transfer that number into Deal Factory. And the second thing is we just have to have a receipt or some sort of invoice showing that you own that number. So after we get that back, and we've got information in the system how to do it, I can share that with you guys as well too. But in the support center, if you press the question box, there's a link to that letter of authorization form. It does take us anywhere between 5 and 7 days, depending on the carrier that we're importing it, before that they actually transfer that into the system. But
so I have a question, because I actually tried to import a number unsuccessfully, and then I just said, okay, I'll wait. And the reason was, like, I have Ring Central, and you know Ring Central, right?
Yep.
Well, so when I did it, they sent me back an auto thing saying I had to send them a bill or something. Well, I didn't have anything from Ring Central. It's all web-based, so I didn't really know what to do. And then I also tried to import a Google Voice number, and again, I'm like, well, I don't have any bill. I don't really have anything, so I didn't know what I'm supposed to send for that.
So you, like, if you even just like, we have to have some sort of proof that you own the number, because if you feel like like a random number, like, we'd get in a lot of trouble with that. But you should be able to contact Google and even Ring Central. We've had people port over Ring Central and Google Voice numbers. It was ported over on a daily basis, but
yeah, it was probably my fault, because I was overzealous and I tried to do like 10 numbers at once, and they were all from different carriers. So when they sent back what they wanted, I was like, forget it. I should have just done one number.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so
so you can even like log online and just do like a screenshot snippet of your computer screen, and we'll even accept that for like
basic. Hey, you know what? I hate to do this while I'm actually live, but let me put that on my to-do list, because that's important. I spend like $200 a month on Ring Central, and that'll save all that money.
Yep. Don't blame
Ring Central. All right. So the next one says, I also want to see Marcy's doc. I have some basic questions, like how do we enter contacts and tag them appropriately? Previous contacts, I mean. Also, I'm having trouble editing my website. So that's a good question. I'm pretty sure I know how to do it, but I'm gonna let you answer. I'm pretty sure you just go contacts, and then when you put them in, it has a thing to tag on, correct?
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here again real quick. All right. And when I share, I've only got one monitor up here, so bear with me here. So, all right. So when I'm in a contact, there's a couple things I can do. So, for example, this person here that texted in, I can look over here and say, okay, they're tagged as Deal Factory Demo. I can just click Add, and I can say, okay, they're an absentee owner. Maybe they're a distressed seller. You can add all those tags right here, and there you go. That will add them that way. The other way to do it too is if you wanted to, right here, so you can go through and select a whole bunch of people at once. Add and remove tags right here, so you can say, okay, I want to tag all these people as serious buyers, so on and so forth, and I want to remove the tag down here as, maybe I want to remove the Deal Factory Demo tag right here, and press apply, and that will add and remove tags right there as well. But the most effective way to do that is through workflows as well, and I probably didn't cover this very well, but when, for example, if this is the workflow, basically the what you want the system to do when somebody calls in. So actually, I'll use Marcy for example. So when she imported, I told you she bought that list from another investor, right? There was a couple hundred people, dead leads on that list. When she imported that list, you can go up here to contacts, import contacts right here. So you save them into a CSV file and you upload them here, and that all those contacts will get put into Deal Factory. So after, and you can actually add a tag on that import list. So that way, when they get imported in, you'll say, okay, well, hey, these are my dead leads. Well, then when you go over here to the workflows, and we've got a follow-up, right? Hey, we're building out a 52-week follow-up sequence. Well, you can sit right here and say, okay, well, I want all of these people to be called dead leads. All right. But when, whether one of them calls in 2 weeks later, or maybe it's 4 months later, well, they're no longer a dead lead when they pick up the phone and call you back, right? So part of the next, I told you it's all about automation. So when either they call in, so part of that call flow or part of the workflow, you can say, okay, well, they're no longer a dead lead, they're a warm lead, so on and so forth. So you can say, okay, now they're a warm lead, and then let me see here. But I want to remove the cold lead tag, right? So you can basically have the system automatically do that. And it will basically update those tags so that you're manually not trying to do this. So I hope that makes sense, but you can either manually add a tag real easily or delete a tag. But the other part of it is part of when you're doing your workflows and call flows. If somebody responds back, well, one of the first things you should do is remove the dead lead or cold lead and maybe move them to a warm lead, or people even do it with, hey, contracts, the contract submitted, contract accepted, and you can go through there and really keep your database lined up correctly that way. But good question on the tags there. So the other part of it too, you can sit here and say, okay, well, this person here, they're not an absentee owner. I'm going to go ahead and remove this one. And you can see all the tags there and click it right here. Edit, whatever the case is, you can add and remove tags pretty easily right there as well.
I have a stupid question. If there's multiple tags and you have multiple workflows for each tag, does it prioritize, or does it run all of them simultaneously, or how would that work?
Yeah, so you can run them all simultaneously. So when you click on this will show you flow history. So this will show you this one here was this flow was triggered to let you know if like there's an active flow, basically a workflow or a call flow. Over here to show you if there's any blasts that are scheduled. So if you're doing a text blast that is going to go out tomorrow, right, you can sit here and click on that and it'll show you. But you can have as many tags as you want on any contact record. And once they, so like if you've got a workflow going on right now and it gets to the stopping point, well, the stopping point could say, you could put a tag on them for this. When once a different workflow gets started, it can add a different tag or whatever. So yeah, you can have unlimited tags. You can have multiple things going on at once. It's up to you. But again, not to make this sound overcomplicated, but when you're doing those workflows, you can actually have a workflow trigger another workflow too. So once something happens, maybe a follow-up sequence is coming through and it gets to a certain point, you can say, okay, well, once it gets to this point, I want to trigger a different workflow right here. I want to stop a workflow right here. And same thing with tags. You can have it update tags dynamically as well, Scott.
Okay. All right. For Velocity, should we be using a profit dial number? Velocity is our direct mail system. So right now it goes directly to their bylines. And so I don't know, is it an issue? I think it's going through another system now. Is there an issue with it going through a system, through another system?
What system are they using?
It's something like CallRail, but it's their own, so I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Okay. It would probably depend. I don't know what their restrictions are, but you can like have them text in or do something else and forward. So if they call into us first, is the call to action to text in or to call in typically, Scott?
It's a call in, but it's one number. It's one number that's used for our entire group, and then it gets round robin to each person individually.
Okay.
So it would basically, they would have to use that as their number that their round robin went to, and then forwarded it. So I don't know if it'd be like 3 forwards. I don't think I'd want to do that for Velocity.
I would recommend against that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, I don't think that'd be a smart move because it's already being forwarded to them, then getting routed to you. And if you use that number, then it's going to be forwarded again. I don't think that's a great idea.
So once they call into that, it gets round robin. What's triggering the call? Is it a phone call to?
Off direct mail. Yeah,
right.
It's all from direct mail, and it's based on who bought into the system.
Okay. Yeah, I probably wouldn't mess with that. I can dig more into it if you want.
As I said, I was thinking 3 forwards is going to be too much anyway. I think
that's a little much. Yeah, I mean, if it was 2, that'd probably be okay. But yeah, I would probably recommend against that. Now, the other thing you could do is maybe have them call in, and it will forward to one of them, or if they text in as part of that process, then you could do some different things like that. But for the time being, I wouldn't recommend 3 forwards.
Gotcha. If someone calls in, is there a way to set up something like if you're calling about your home, press 1? If you're calling about, yes, there is. That he went over that, so I'm not even going to get into that now, Patrick. I'm going to say when you watch the video again, there was a spot where he had it basically showed a push button box, and you can push 1 for this, 2 for that, and then route each one wherever you wanted it to.
Yeah, there's an interactive menu button on those call flows. Press 1 for this, 2 for that, just like you said, and it do different things. Yep.
Absorbing, for the lack of a better word. Can Kevin please cover that again? I'm not sure, Ren, on what we're covering again, since if you want to leave another comment, we'll get to it when we get down there, but it didn't say what you wanted him to cover again, so I couldn't do that. Sorry about that, Ren. Can we get a copy of the recording? Yes, it's going to be right here where we are on the Facebook page, as in the private membership site, so you can have it. It'll be there always. Are the 10 pages included in your monthly cost? The answer is yes, correct?
Yeah.
The 10 web pages?
Yeah, so you get 10 full websites included. You get unlimited landing pages. So you can build out 1,000 landing pages if you want, but you do get 10 websites included, yes.
Fantastic. How many numbers are included, and is that in the monthly charge?
You get 10 phone numbers, and yes, that is included.
Fantastic. Is Deal Factory Promotion still up, or we can go over it again? Yes, we still have it. You can still use it, and I'll put a link in the comments below this, so you don't have to pay the $9.97 fee. We have a link, so you can waive that. And I'll just, if I forget, just remind me. But after we're hanging up, I'll put a link down for anybody that's not already signed up. I'll put a link in the comments right below this video, so you guys can get set up. If I'm a hard money broker, can I use this the same way? I'm answering for you, Kevin, but yes, you can use it even for outside businesses, businesses that have nothing to do. You can use it for a car dealership, whatever you are set up for real estate, but you can use it for anything.
Yep.
Did I hear you say this was mobile friendly, or is there an app? From what I know, there's not an app, right? It's just mobile friendly.
It's just mobile friendly. We are working on an app that we're hoping to have available in the next month or two for the Profit Dial phone system. So that way you can just click on that, make phone calls, text right there from the app versus, logging in and doing it. So it's going to get easier from a texting and call standpoint. But yeah, but it's mobile friendly for sure.
And I like it on my phone because I keep it on my phone and I don't have to log in each time. So I basically just touch it and it's already in, which I thought I was going to have to log in every time, but it stays logged in.
I save it as a favorite. I do the same.
Yep. So Ren responded, carrot sites, absorbing carrot sites. My bad. So I'm gonna answer that again for you, Kevin. I'm answering all the questions for you only because we went over this last time. If your carrot site is producing you leads and you already have it optimized, my opinion is to leave it the way it is. My carrot site does fantastic for us. I just text Kevin, not you, but Kevin Gilbert the other day, because every morning, I know I told you guys I'm always Googling our search terms, sell my house fast, Norfolk, and I see who's coming up and who's not. Kevin's he's been working on his a lot, and now he's coming up in every search category. So if you're coming up, if you've worked on your site and it's optimized, I say leave it alone. If your site's just sitting there and you're not doing anything to optimize it, and it's just there in case someone types in your web address, but you're not being found, then there's no point in paying that $97 a month. You might as well just switch over. You can keep that same domain and switch over and build out the site on here. So I'm not telling you, and Ren, I think that's what you were asking. I'm not telling you to get rid of your carrot site. Carrot produces a lot of deals for me, and I love my carrot site. But if you didn't spend any time or effort and work on it or get it optimized, there's no point in wasting that money. That he's going to give you free sites here that pretty much look identical. Yep. So it might not be, if you already spent the time and energy and worked on yours being optimized, you don't want to lose all that. But if you didn't do any of that yet, you can do the same work with this site, if that makes sense to you.
What he said.
So I'm answering all your questions for you.
Oh, that was perfect.
Is there a better way to enter a contract manually? For example, a contact. I read contract. A velocity call. Can we add edit tags, text, or are they preset?
Yep, you can very easily add a contact manually. You can also add and edit the tags. You can have them set up preset or manually add them. You can do it either way. And yes, you can add a contact manually very easily. Okay,
fantastic. And is it best to call in for help with editing in my website? And that's a good question because somebody else asked me too. How do I get support? I know you told us when you were there, but I didn't want everybody calling you personally. I know you have.
No. Yeah, it's fine. So when you're actually in the app, I'll share this real quick here just so you see it. So when you are in the app, if you can click right here on this question mark, there's a link right here to the support center. And this will take you video training, webinar replays. You can submit a ticket right here. So that will send a direct line saying, hey, I need help with this, or this is a call me back, etc. here. But that's the best way to start it. And then again, just hey, I need help doing this. But we've got a bunch of videos in here as well. that will walk you through step by step how to create websites. There's full documents on all that. Submit a ticket, and then we will call you back. 99% of the time, it's the same day that we call back for on support articles, unless it is a Saturday or Sunday. And then we only have one person working, so there might be a delay or two at that point. But other than that, yes.
All right. Hey, is there any other questions? I think that was the last one I have up here, unless I missed any. I know it scrolled away from me for a second. We'll hang on for a second in case anybody had anything further. But I think, I know I'm doing this for everyone else, but I was also for myself. And so I'm real happy with everything we got recorded here because it's going to work great. Now I have, again, I have plenty of time now sitting at home. So I plan on fully set mine up. You said it goes for 3 years. We can set it up 3 years out.
You can go for years and years. Yeah. I think the limit's 5 years, if I remember right. I don't know anybody that's actually built out a 5-year campaign, but Scott, if you've got enough time, you first.
For quarantine, what else are we going to do?
I'm ready for it to be lifted. I'm going to come back to Virginia Beach.
Yep. Thank you, Kevin and Scott. Thank you, guys. I think that's everything and everyone. I don't want to hold you all night. I know I told you we'd do an hour. It's already been an hour and 20 minutes. So I hope you guys got everything you need out of it. Now, the important thing is that we actually do the work and set it up. If you pay for this monthly and don't do anything, it's worthless. It all comes down to you setting it up. And then once it's set up, actually inputting the data. That's the whole key to everything, because if you don't input the data, again, it's going to be worthless, even if you set it all up. Yeah. So it's only as good as the input you put into it, the information you put into it. So I plan on myself getting fully set up and fully start using it. And I hope you guys do the exact same thing. Kevin, I thank you very much for being on and training with us once again. And hopefully we don't need to call you 100 times with more questions. But now you showed them how to do the support ticket, so we should be good.
Scott, I'm also sitting at home. I'm begging for people to talk to me. I feel like I'm alive again for the first time in a while. So call me anytime. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Have a great night, guys. Everybody stay home, stay safe, and we will see you soon.
All right. Thank you.